to hear a couple of guests that have something to tell us, to communicate to us. First, we'll have Nick Smith.
Last reading? That's okay.
So, please go ahead, Nick.
Hello. I'm a school teacher, I shouldn't do this. My name is Lynn Lazzarini. Used to be Schmidt, that was my married name. So it's Lynn Lazzarini. I'm being as a Mexican. I'm actually keeping the name that I was born with. Hello. I am the owner of Centro Equestre Caballerizas Paraíso, also known on the web as Horses in Baja. I'm the equestrian center. Are you sure? Okay. Tell me if I blast your ears out. The equestrian center is located on El Dorado Beach, but let me be very clear, it is not funded by an HOA. None of your money comes to me, all right? I want to make that clear. There's some rumors going around, all right? I am my own nonprofit corporation, an AC, Association Civil, okay? It's a Mexican nonprofit. So I operate independently. I lease the land from EDR, not the HOA. Okay, so the land is leased. And we operate out there. All the proceeds that are generated out there go to fund the equinoterapia, which is equine therapy or equine assisted therapy. Some people may know that. We've been serving the CAM school, that's the school for the disabled in town, for 3 years now, a little over 3 years. That's all free of charge. We have volunteers. Feel free if you want to volunteer, contact me. We are now, and this is why I'm here today really, we're going to be starting next month a new project, set of workshops. There is a nonprofit up in California. It is out of UC Davis. It is called Connected Horse. It operates out of an equestrian center in Orinda. Connected Horse is a proven, therapeutic, non-mounted, that means the people are on the ground interacting with the horse, they're not on the horse. It is for dementia patients and their caregivers. We serve them as a dyad. They come together and they do the therapy together. It's an incredible program. Connected Horse is actually helping us develop it down here. They are sending their facilitators to us. They've been training us and they'll help us do the first pilot program, which starts in March. If you want to know more, I have a table out front. You can ask me all kinds of questions about that or the other equine therapy that we do or the other services we have. But I just wanted to let you guys know because on Facebook, awfully Facebook, there's, don't get me started. There's been all kinds of, hearsay and stuff. So I just want to make it, very clear what we do. We're a great group of volunteers and other people that come and we would love to see you. That's it. I'm done.
Thank you. Yes, as a matter of fact, if you haven't been at the horse ranch, make a round. It's very interesting. Like Lynn said, she has many activities. One of them is equinotherapy, which is really good. It's helping a lot of children in town. Okay, the next guest speaker is Dick Pearson. Would you like to say something about?
Well, first I'd like to say Feliz Año Bisiesto. It's happy leap year. Two things I wanted to mention. One, Lynn hit on it a little bit. Facebook. Ed and I have had a lot of responses in the past few months as to ask the supervisor, asking questions. And we really appreciate those people that are asking questions and we can get back to you. Recently, we had somebody say, hey, we have a bunch of Canadians that want to get together with you and get more information about the HOA. That's great. That's what we're here for. Unfortunately, the 75 or maybe it's up to 8,000 people in St. Felipe Charter cannot answer your question. I know a lot of you people want to voice your concern or dislikes and everything, but they can't solve your problem. You're going to get, some of them I've seen, over 100 responses with everybody just jumping on. But if you contact Ask a Supervisor, it goes to Roberto, it goes to Ed and myself, and we'd love to be able to answer your question. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. The Ask Your Supervisor goes to the supervisors in Leventon and Del Mar, which is Denise, Hans Walshut, Martha Rizek, and Gary Lambert. So that's a team of 6 supervisors that can help you answer all your questions. And if it is directly to the administrator, then I will answer to you. My door is always open. I am not always there, but if you can check with Sarina, she can find me, I think so, sooner than my wife. Okay, now that we have the opportunity to hear our speakers today, we'll go to the meeting agenda. So I welcome you all officially to the Town Hall meeting of February 29, 2020. The meeting is called to order right now. And as always, I will say the procedure of the meeting, which is, I will make the presentation as always. The questions and answer session will be at the end of the presentation. For the questions, each person will take a turn at the microphone beside the stage, which is right here at my right, stating your name, lot number, and your question. This year, we will, Sarina had the idea to put a white paper sheet so you can write your name, your lot, and your question too. So, because sometimes we don't get the name or we don't get the lot, so we have to be after the meeting. So please register your name and your information in the black sheet, in the white sheet, sorry. To provide opportunity to go for everyone, 1 question per person, please. If you have more questions, please go in the back of the line for your second or third question. The next one is the Administrator Supervisory Committee. As you know, we lose Steve Kimmy, who was the president of the board last year. And we will miss him dearly because he was a very important part of the committee. He was very proactive. He has in mind always the betterment of the HOAs. And he was a very good father, good friend, and good resident of the Dorado Ranch. That's his soul be in peace. So the next thing I want to thank the committees, the one from the EDR side and the one from the Leventon Del Mar. This is Ed Jones, Dick Peterson, Denise Lyman, Hans Weissert, Martha Rizek, and Gary Lambert. Thank you very much. Your participation has always been enthusiastic and very consistent. You review everything like it has to be done. You put us to good work. So thank you again. I want to recognize too the effort of our activities team, which is always setting all these together. Sarina, which is always in customer service, helping you and me. And Arturo, who is our IT guy for the meetings and the website. The next thing is to remind you of the public meetings that we will be having in 2020. The next town hall meeting is in June 6th. The next one is in September 26th. Developers meeting May 2 and October 29. The GA meetings will be in October 30 for EDR and October 31 for Leventon Del Mar and Las Villas. Next point in the agenda is the newsletter. This year, as I mentioned before, we lose our friend Steve, and he was the editor of the newsletter. So while this change goes on, we didn't have the time to organize the January newsletter, but February is out. So right now the editor is Mrs. Denise Lavin. She make a whole new format for the newsletter. We have been receiving good commentaries about it. If you haven't read it, please go ahead and go into it. It has a lot of very nice information, important information, and it answers questions too. The next one is Las Vegas Grill, the relocation and insurance thing. We have been battling the insurance company for the whole year last year. We have a very tough contract last year because we had 5 fires in the last 3 years. So they were very, very adamant saying, you know, no more insurance for you, or we will have a crime that will surpass your expectations. And yes, it was very, very high. But we battled them until this year. We have a lot better deal. We are going to publish it next Monday in the website, so you can review it. Right now, the Las Villas supervisors have it, so you can ask them for the details if you want. We have 5% in the, let me see, well, it's called. I am not an insurance agent, so let me see. It's a 5% in responsibility in case of a fire, plus a 10% co-insurance. So it's a lot better. In the last one we got with them, fighting like hell with them, we got 2020, so it was not deal. So finally we fight them so hard that we get this agreement, which I think so it's good enough, so we can go on. And for sure they have some requests that we comply with. We took all the 3 and 4 grills out of their places, which was a main concern for them. So this is done. Safety and security. Let me tell you that we have come a lot ahead in security. This Wednesday I was in Mexicali jail. I was in a trial for another guy who has been making tricks at the ranch, and he got a vacation for 3 years and 2 months. So that's good to know, because the boys' word goes around the town, and the people say, okay, you better doesn't mess with Rancho El Dorado. This is the 4th guy that we put behind bars in the last 6 years. And as you know, in the past we had a lot of problems in EDR with cable thief, table cat, and we put another couple of guys over there in jails too, so that's why the cable theft stopped completely. So we have been active in that. It's an extra activity, but it's giving good results. The other thing in safety and security, our activities personnel receive a CPR trainee, so they are right now more trained to be helpful for all the residents. I hope that nobody needs it, but it's better to have it than not. Even our security people is trained in CPR. Telnor and LDCR to the internet. If you read the newsletter, there is an article about Telnor policy in the service they are providing. WiMAX. WiMAX is dying, that's a real thing. Even Telnor recognizes it. There's not an upgrade in the technology. So what they are going to do is they will try to revamp it a little bit. This is going to start soon. They don't give us a date, but they will be making appointments to go to your house and make this revamping, they call it. There is another 2 options. You can take internet with a modem. You get it from Telcel, but you have to go to Telnor to talk with them and make the change. And El Desierto, which is the alarm company in town, they are offering right now a new service for internet. This is general information, don't take it like the Bible. I prefer that you go directly with them, talk with them, and if it is good for you, you make the contract with them. But they are offering right now internet service. You can make a contract for a month, for a semester, or annual. 75 monthly, 420 for 6 months, 780 for a year, plus the installation cost. In El Dorado is 350. If it is too far from Baja Medical, because the antenna from Baja Medical, they will be using it to make the radiation of the internet good. But maybe, excuse me?
Pesos or dollars?
No, dollars. No, pesos is used for 2 tacos. And the data that you can upload doesn't limit. The download is in average 20 megabytes, and the upload is 20 megabytes too. So if you are interested in this, you can go with Del Desierto. If you don't have the telephone or you need it, you can go with Ricardo over there at the right table. He has Del Desierto telephone number. So you can see that even that we know Teller is not upgrading the service, we have been trying to find out something else that works for the community. It's not easy because we are in the last corner of the world, but it's a very nice and beautiful corner. Very soon we will have the census, which is the national population census in Mexico. We want to know how many we are, where we are, what we eat, what we live in, and this is for Mexicans. This is to collect more taxes. No, it's a statistics data. So all the information is in customer service. This is the kind of pamphlet they gave to us. They will be visiting personally your houses. They will knock at your door. They have to have a tag. They have a shirt with the logo of the INEGI, which is like this. It's exactly like it is right here. So you can identify them for sure. When they cross our gates, we know immediately they are in. There's no chance that somebody who is not with INEGI go to your door. We will be looking at that very closely too. This is going to start in March 2, so this is 2 days away, in Monday. They will make you questions. Maybe you have had these ones in the United States, so it's the same thing. Please answer to them courteously. These are voluntaries, the most of them that are just trying to make a better Mexico for all. The questions at the end, please. The other one that I have over here in the next point in the agenda is the volunteers. I really want to thank the volunteers that help with the activities at the ranch. We haven't done that in the years past. We have told them personally that we appreciate all their efforts, all their help, all their concern for the wellness of the community. But this year, Jorge Libreros, our activities head, think that it was not enough, and he made a surprise meeting for all the volunteers. They were invited to a meeting without knowing what was this going to be. They think, well, there's something else we will have to do. But no, this time we want to say to them, thank you. We gave them a little recognition paper, and there has been people who has been helping for years. They are newcomers, but always they have been given the best of them to the community. So forever, we are thank you for your efforts, volunteers of El Dorado Ranch. Yes, thank you, sir. The next point is not in the agenda, but it was communicated to me by Pat Butler yesterday. governor of Baja California requested to have a meeting with the residents of El Dorado Ranch. This is about the municipalization of San Felipe. So this is the independency of San Felipe of Mexicali. There is a territorial area that is going to be for San Felipe. That includes part of the municipality of Ensenada. This is all the way down to Laguna Salada, to the ejido. I don't remember the name of that ejido right now, but it's around kilometer 80, 84, by the end, coming from Mexicali to here, by the end of La Salada. Salazar, I think so, it's something like that. So from there, Saldaña, yes, well, it was close enough. It's like Mike and Miguel. So we know that it's going to be in March, but government always give the date very close to the date. Because of security reasons, you know, they're 200 kilometers from here to there, and they are always busy. So at the time that we'll have the meeting, we will send the information through a blast of emails, and if they give it us some time in the newsletter too, which is our tool, and we will put it in the news in the website, so you will be able to know when this meeting is going to be. And for sure, he is bilingual perfectly. He has been living in the States for years before, so he is totally bilingual. And he wants to ask questions, hear your opinions, and that's very good. That's inclusive. That's a concern of the government to hear the voices of the people who is living in San Felipe, who is not a native of San Felipe. So I think so this is a very good reach out from the government. And the next one is a slide presentation that I always prepare so you can see in what we have been busy working. So I will stand up and I will go up to the front. Okay, we'll start as always with El Dorado Ranch, then we will go to La Ventana del Mar, and at the end we'll go to Las Vegas. This is a beautiful picture from El Dorado Ranch in the small airplane that goes around the ranch and everywhere in San Felipe. Next, please. We make a water tank at the dog park so the dogs can drink water and have more fun. It is in use very often. Each Saturday I go over there and make a review, and it's going very well. I always see a couple of persons with their dogs, always different people, so it is in use. Next, please. Oh, sorry, this tank was not paid with funds from the HOA. This tank was paid with the money that the people who is volunteer at the dog park, they make donations and they sell them at the meet each Saturday. So that's the proceeds goes to the betterment of the dog park. This we have been working in the gardeners in front of and in the back of the customer service area. Here are 3 of our wives working. Next. Los Viajeros Sur. We are here, this guy is painting it, so we are repairing them. Sometimes the water of the rain damage them. Next, we still have some bale, the straw bale ones, but once they break, we do them with blocks. This is new signs that we have put around. This is the one at Hacienda del Sol, 2 ellipses sign, which is right now very clear to see again. Next. Street lighting repair. We have been changing the lights for LED, so we are lowering our consumption, which is always good. And we preserve the policy of the light coming down, so we have clear and nice night skies. Next. Tennis courts, windscreen repair. Next. Cachanilla bathroom, we repair all the walls that were like this and repaint the whole bathroom. Next. The jacuzzi door, somebody has the idea of breaking this lock. So we repair it and we repaint all the door. Right now it looks like this again. Next. Hot tub, new signs, and in the pump room. There is some people who goes into the pump room, they think they can make things better than our personal. And I don't doubt that some of them can, but there is people who doesn't know, or children can come in, and there is pumps, there is equipment, there is electricity, so it's dangerous. Please don't go in. Next, please. Hot tub pipe repair. This was because of the rain. A lot of debris come in, they clog the drain, it breaks this pipe, and it damaged our pump. The pump we already ordered. There's people who is very mad that the jacuzzi has been down for 2-3 weeks. I am sorry. The pumps are not done here. We have to order them from outside and wait for them to cross the border, and until then we can install them. It's ordered, it's paid for, so we are waiting for it only. Next, please. Tennis court water pump installation. This was burnt, we repaired it, right now it's back, and we are watering the area again. Next, please. Cachanilla Pulera warehouse doors painted. This was not broken, so we took them out, we paint them, and then we replace them. Next, please. Cachanilla pump room doors painted. This is the one little house. This is before the parking lot of the Cachanilla pool. So the doors were in this condition. Right now they are again back to nice. Next. Cachanilla pool entrance lamps. This is when you're coming into the Cachanilla pool. We took them out. There are 3 of them. So we repainted them. Right now they look nice again. Next, please. Cachanilla volleyball pool grids clean. We have to do this by hand. It's not an easy task, but here is our personnel doing it. Next, please. Road maintenance at Tordo Amarillo, Palos Verdes Sur. We put a base for a betterment of the road surface. Next, please. Camino Nuevo road repair. Look at this, it looks very nice. Next, please. Dump truck springs repair. This is, we have to do it periodically, so whenever it happens, we have to do it again. Next, please. Electric road maintenance. Next. Peterbilt water truck springs repair. This is another of our trucks. Next. Water truck paint and maintenance. These ones you've seen before. We paint the base of the tank. We paint the tanks and the wheels, everything. Next, please. We just bought in this month of February a new personal bus. We run them till death. We have to change them each 3 years to 4 years. Right now we have this brand new one. This is still not working. We are painting it. Here we have the paint already in. We have taken care of small details inside, but it's in a very good condition. The seats, everything is very, very, very good. And we get it for a nice price with our supplying from San Luis Rio, Colorado. We will keep the white and red bus. We won't paint this one because it's expensive. So El Dorado Ranch identifies it with the logos and everything. So we'll keep it yellow. And we have still the small bus, which is sometimes between shifts, the smaller shifts, we take them in the small bus, so we save money in gas and time. Next, please. Security, we bought a new Toyota Tacoma for security. Next. First aid backpacks, medical supplies. We use them very often when there is a call for aid. Security are the first people who arrive. And then as soon as they receive the call from a resident or a friend of a resident, they first put the alert in the system and then they call the Red Cross. So it comes immediately as soon as possible. Next, please. Security tools. These are for the radios mainly, and caution tape. Next, please. Security radios parts. We fix our radios until they are not possible to be repaired, so we keep them as good as possible. Next, please. Oxygen regulator for Rancho del Sur for gate. We have a CPR kit over at Rancho del Sur 4, so there is an oxygen tank for the CPR. Car radio antennas, this is to store data, the USB, and water gun for work. Next, please. Security battery for sensors. These are for the infrared system all around into the ranch. And we install 12 watches for security gates, so they can be on time, coming in and leaving. Next, please. Security, this is important. This is something that we started to do in more detail in 2018. This is people who has done wrong use of access passes, owners, stickers, IDs, visitor pass. In this year we have 93. I can tell you that it rises a little bit, not too much, which is good, but still you can see there's a lot of stickers. Why do we have one here from 2012 or one from 17? Sometimes our residents sell the cars, but they forget to peel off the stickers. So the new owner, who is not an owner of the ranch, with this, they can come in. So right now, our security people is checking each car with the stickers. Some of our residents get mad sometimes and say, "Oh, you already know me." Yes, but I don't know if this is your car. So right now we peel off all of these ones. These are passes to friends or visitors that were wrong used. This is from workers that come to work at the ranch. So they did bad use. Some of them are prohibited for life to come back. Next, please. Activities room. We bought 36 chairs and 4 tables. Then we have the problem where to put them, but we already sold them. Next, please. La Ventana del Mar. Another beautiful picture with the sea here and a nice clouded sky. Next. New LED lights. We have, as I say in past town halls, we are getting a very good price on these lights. We came from $240 a light before to right now around... ¿Cuánto es, Ricardo? ¿Cuánto valen las LED lights ahora? Sí. Right now from $240 we are paying now $50. And these are LED lights. So it's a lot better lighting. And they have extended life. It's a very good deal with it. Next, please. Electric short quick repair at area 11. This happens with rain. This happened because the installation was 14 years ago or something like that. So we uncover it, we fix them, and then we make this tying up, which protects them against the humidity. Next. Lab number 9, electric shock, with repairs and everything. This is by the entrance of the La Ventana del Mar. Next, please. Electric bus brake at Lapa Lapa. Here we have divided the chargers so it works better. It's less amperage, so it's less consumption too. Next, please. Lapa Lapa shades columns repair. With the humidity of the pool and the beach, the materials get wrong, so we fix them, and right now they look back nice. Next, please. Reinforcement of new tables at La Palapa. In the winter, we put them like they come because there was not too many people, but now that the summer is coming, we do the same thing that we did at Cachanilla. So these tables will last a lot longer than before. Next, please. Water leak repair at the beach area. Next. La Ventana Mall Highway 5 pedestrian lines painted. This is before we go on into the Highway 5. So right now the people can see them better. White ones and yellow ones. Next, please. Bushes clearing. This is by the side of the fence in the right side going, well, if you come from La Ventana and trans to the beach, is the left side besides the Perla Camp. Here is the Perla Camp. So all these bushes are gone. This provides more security. Next. Whenever it's rain, we work in anticipation with sand sacks so we can deviate the water wherever we can. So we did this too in this season. Next. We did 3 manholes. Next. People warehouse. This is brand new. We are just finishing it. Right now it's finished. We just have to paint this side because electricity comes in there. And we delivered it yesterday to the Pickleball group, to the club. So I think so they are very reasonably happy because they made the last one they donated money to make the last one where the only pickleball court that we have at that time was in Cachanilla area. So we move all the pickleball to La Ventana del Mar. So we construct this one, and the other one will be given to the tennis club. So next, please. New tools. All these ones were not on time because of the use. We are always working with them. This is a welder, a cutter. This is a bench cutter. I don't remember how these ones are called, but it's wheelbarrows. Thank you. Dick is forgetting in English and I didn't know it. And hoses and all this, which is material that were not on time. Next, please. Now Las Villas. Again, a very nice picture with the beautiful sea and Sea of Cortez in it. Next. Drywall repair. There are some problems like these ones, and we are fixing them, and we are putting the right material so it doesn't go wrong. Next. Lamp repair. In this one, the chain got broken, so we repaired it and we put it back. Next, please. Water diverted at corner 444. The rain came in and it was eroding the base of the electrical supply here. So we make this deviation for the water. Next. Electric ground base at corner 44, same thing. The water was damaging the connections with the earth. So right now we protect them. Next. Driveway leveling at corner 54-1. Sometimes there's traffic here and it affects, sometimes it's the off-roading or the four-wheelers or whatever. But it was deteriorated, so we leveled it up. Next, please. Painted garage door at condo 24. Right now it's in good condition. Back to good condition. Next, please. Condo 43 stairs repair. Next. Las Villas pool number 2, wash gravel. We do this from time to time because the gravel tends to sink into the sand. But we want to keep it nice with our whale tail here, cemented, which is forever. Next. Las Villas pool number 2 skimmer did replace. This gets broken because of the sun dried them and they crack. So sometimes a skin guy like me step on it and break them. So we have to replace them. Next one, please. Condo 51 Iron Gate repair. Here is our guy working, and here is it repaired. Next, please. Condo 14 clean out installation. The owners reported to us, and we went in, and there was a trouble with some roots from one of the trees, so we cut it out, the piping, redo it, and now if you go, it's like nothing happened. Next, please. Roof tiles replacement in condo 13-2. Next. Roof repairs in condos 29-4, 2-4, 42-2, and 12-2. I want you to notice that in the past we have here like 20 in each town hall. Right now we only have 4. So we are finishing with the roof tile working, and I hope so. The last rain we didn't have any more reports. Next, thank you. Roof repair on the 24. This is the detail of each one that was before. Get back to the other one, please. To the one before. Okay. You can see 29-4, 2-4, 4-2-2, 12-2. So I will skip each one of them. They are here. So to make this shorter, if you want, you can go into the web and see it. And this is the last of the slides for La Ventana del Mar. So this is the end of the slideshow. I want to thank you all for your attention, and now I open the floor for questions. So if you want to make a question, please come to the front on the right side and state your name, number, and your question, and if you want to provide us your information, please. Yes, Dave.
I just want to comment on and elaborate what Roberto had said about the municipality of San Felipe. Municipalities, or whatever the word is, if there is one. If you go on to, I know I had about Facebook before, but if you go on to San Felipe Despierta, if you want information, I can give you more on it. But that is a Facebook page that has been created to give you all the information as to the transition of having San Felipe become a municipal. It started last year when people from San Felipe went to the new government, and 3,800 signatures, and the state legislature approved or changed the legislation on how a municipal could become independent from, like Mexicali, or like San Quintin is doing from Ensenada. And that was approved, it was changed. Just this past week, they approved a logistic committee, like Roberto had mentioned, to decide where the area is going to be. And it's going to be, I can't remember, it's going to be the second or third largest municipal in Baja. It's going to go all the way down to and including Gonzaga, Tordesillas, all the way up to, like, he said, like La Ventana went up that way. And so it's a huge area. A lot of people said, is there money in San Felipe? They did a study a couple of years ago, and yes, it is feasible. There is the tax base to go forward. So now they're in the next process of determining and getting approval on the area that way. So parts that are in Ensenada will be no longer. So you go down to, when I said going all the way down south. I don't want to give you more time. If anybody wants further information, I can have it if you're interested. Thank you.
this make the life for the people who lives at the south of San Felipe, which is part of Ensenada, a lot easier, because they are very far from the city of Ensenada. If they need something, they have to travel all the way to San Felipe, then go to the deviation to Ensenada, and drive all the way to Ojos Negros and San Matias to Ensenada to make something with the government. Right now, they will be able to come to San Felipe and fix whatever they have the need for. So that's another point.
Davis, and I've been, this June I'll be here 15 years living here, and it seems like yesterday, but my question, I live in Palos Verdes North, number 2, and me and my wife, we're not snowbirds, we stay here full time, we're out here for 6 months and take off. But like I said, we do a lot of communicating with the town itself, with a lot of the Mexican people, and here at the ranch too, my wife's a volunteer, she does water aerobics, and she does Zumba classes. But my question to you, Roberto, I was able to come to the November meeting, but we were out of town, we're in Mexico City. But we came back, and I ran into you, and I seen you, this was almost close to somewhere Thanksgiving, so I can't remember the exact time. But I remember you talked to me, and I said, so Roberto, what went on in the meeting? And you were telling me that you're going to have good news, that Pat said that he's going to have investors, and blah, blah, blah. And so this was, you said in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be getting some good news. It's the end of February already, and I'm just questioning you about what is going on.
Well, I do the same question too. I think so each one of us here do the same question.
Yeah.
This doesn't depend on me or the HOA. This is something that Pat is working very diligently. Right now he has 3 different groups working with. When is this going to happen? I hope so today. Really. Because what does mean to the HOA? We'll have new owners, they will be paying dues, they will be growing back to what El Dorado was. So let me tell you that I am eager as you for the influx of money to come in, because it is so important. And it's not just for El Dorado, even for town. We are the more employees offering employment in San Felipe. If the El Dorado grows, let's say, 8% yearly, the town will be happy. So I am as eager as you. I don't have an answer for that. I talked yesterday with Pat, and he told me that he was calling the guys last afternoon, dealing with the deal, but I don't know the answer.
Also, since nobody's behind me, I got a question on the maintenance people here, the maintenance people who work here. I know quite a bit of them, and they have a problem with uniforms, shirts and pants, whatever type of stuff that they got. And I've asked a lot of them, well, what's the problem? And they say that they can't get new uniforms, new clothes to wear, because they've been sewing their shirts and pants, patching them up. So I asked them, well, how come, what's the problem? And I guess they always come out and say there's no money. That's the answer to all the things around here. There's no money, but I know there's a lot of money being put somewhere. So my question is, like, you know,
where is that money put somewhere?
Well,
because that's a good question I would like to have an answer to.
If we all pay our HOA dues, we pay like $900, maybe $1,000, X amount of dollars. So.
Well, Tony, let me explain a little bit about
this.
Would
you please?
Yes. First, not all the people is paying. That's the first thing, not all the people is paying. We have a big list of people who is not paying. So I would like that everybody pay, I can tell you that too. The second thing is each year we lose residents. This just the end of the year, I can tell you how many people pass away.
Oh, yeah.
Many people. And all of those people doesn't pay dues anymore. Maybe there is inheritance, but I have received calls from guys that say, you know, my dad died 2 years ago and I don't want that piece of land. I live in Dakota, I live in New York, and I'm not interested in San Felipe. I have never been there and I will never be there. What can I do with the land? First thing I say, well, you can put it on sale. Or you can return it to the developer, whatever you choose. If you want to turn it to the developer, you have to talk with Bill Burns. If you want to sell it, you have to talk with Bill Burns. So that's it. About the uniforms, we just bought boots for them. We just bought boots for them. And we are in the process of buying more uniforms too. We have to deal with the money we have put in it. You can see, for example, pumps, repair of trucks. That's where the money goes. And we have to be, I would like all the money to come in the first 2 weeks of January. Then I will know how much money I will have the rest of the year. But it comes each month. So I have to go each month looking at how much money I have to distribute in the needs we have.
All right, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
It's okay.
I actually have a question for somebody who's not here today, and they asked me to ask it today. And it's a condo owner she says she's been asking this question for like 2 or 3 years and keeps getting assurance that it will happen and that it hasn't happened yet. There's a road at the end of the condos kind of going into the golf course that's kind of indistinguishable between a road and a golf course path and so forth. And apparently a lot of renters, short-term renters, think it's a regular road, and they go out on that road a lot, and they kind of tour around, and yet actually it's a golf course access road. So she's been wanting some sort of sign that says authorized vehicles only or something that, so that people seeing the sign would know it's not a road they can just take.
Yes, let me answer to you directly. I went yesterday we ordered the signs, and I arrived there with the girl, and she said they are not ready yet. We ordered them like 2 months ago, and they are not ready yet. I have to check in my office. I have it in my hand. So next week I am going back again to see if they are ready. So as soon as they are ready, I will bring them down and we will put them all around.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Edna Bond, and we live in Los Fierros South. Ready to give you my lot number and stuff like that. Anyway, my question is that my husband and I are snowbirds. We only come down to maybe 2 to 3 months a year. How is the census going to affect us? Or do we respond to the census because we are only here part-time?
No, it's, for example, if you are not in your house at the time they come in, you are not there. That's it. It doesn't affect you directly because, for example, the government knows that El Dorado is what we call it, foreigner community. It's 85% owned by people from somewhere else of Mexico or the United States, Canada, wherever. So it doesn't affect you directly.
Okay.
This is just that statistic that.
If we're there, we answer questions, and if we're not,
Yes.
we can't.
Yes. Doesn't matter.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Dirk Sutton, condo 24, purchased here in 2008. Don't really know where to start. But essentially, in about December of this year, after our last rains, I completed an RFA to go ahead and get roof repairs done to my condo. It was the third one that I've done in the last 3 years. Having searched through the HOA website, it's clear and evident to me that there was 122 roof repairs made in the last 3 years. That screams that the roof repairs that have been being done to the condos over the last 3 years were in fact being done incorrectly. I brought that to the HOA's, I brought it to their attention in July of 2019, and suggested that if you do a Google search, you can see that unless you paint a membrane over the tar paper before you put shingles over that, the roof will in fact continue to leak. They said, well, thank you for bringing that to our attention. And sure enough, they started painting the membranes, and now I believe as of November 2019, we finally have rectified all of the roof leaks. Unfortunately, numerous parties, myself included, have sustained significant damages to the interior of the condos because of poor roof repairs. Now, I suggested that there was negligence and liability involved, and that in fact the insurance company in place, or the insurance policy in place, should in fact reimburse me for the $4,000 that I just paid out recently to have my condo repaired to proper condition. I was denied on the claim. Now, I understand that we have an insurance policy, and finally, after some 4 or 5 years of asking to see a copy of the policy, it has been made available. I am missing one attachment. It's critical that I obtain that copy. Doreen has informed me that I will get a copy. But I'm trying to understand, we're paying $3,552 for HOA insurance, and as an owner, I certainly expect to be covered for any damages to my condo. Now, I know that the HOA and developer has said, well, the pipe leaks are in fact not our problem. That's due to a bad manufacturer that has just walked away from the product. So presumably he's bankrupt, what have you. Okay, all those roof leaks that are being, all of those pipe leaks that are being repaired, the ranch does at least step up, or the HOA steps up, cuts the hole in your wall, fixes the pipe, and of course we're left with repairing our walls. In my particular instance, the reason I am so frustrated and concerned was, I want to say in July or August, I approached the HOA and said, I have no faith in the HOA's ability to perform a roof repair. You've already failed twice. I've already repaired twice. I haven't made a claim, and now I have to do it again. Well, they took it upon themselves to go ahead and repair the roof. I had presented them with a $1,400 quote from a professional here in San Felipe to go ahead and conduct the repair on my roof. It was denied. They said, no, you cannot pay for your own roof repair, regardless of getting a warranty, what have you. You must use the HOA's resources. Okay, hands tied behind my back, my expectation is you're going to go ahead and make a competent repair. Well, they went out, they repaired the roof, it rained. The new section that they had repaired did in fact hold back the water. They provided the sealant that I had brought to their attention that was missing. You have to seal the roof. Tar paper and shingles is not going to do that. Unfortunately, they missed a section. And they finally got it because I said, hey, you guys missed a section because water is coming through the can lights in my bathroom. Unfortunately, it's draining into a sink. All right, fine, they came back out. And obviously, I was adamantly frustrated. And I've been going back and forth with both Roberto, Doreen, what have you, insisting that somebody, somehow, the insurance policy reimbursed me for the $4,000 I'm out due to negligence and liability. You prevented me from utilizing my own contractor. You said it was to protect the aesthetics, and I can show you pictures of my condo where they stripped 18 inches of stucco off one of the columns and painted up the roof with the paintable membrane. I mean, the lack of experience going into these repairs is just absolutely frustrating. And the fact that there's no insurance to cover my costs is frustrating. As an owner, I'm paying $3,552. I'm told that there's insurance, but now I suspect that it's only bare walls coverage that would in fact protect the owner against, not the owner, sorry, the developer against total loss of the building, via fire, what have you. I do have contents and liability, but I cannot obtain any other insurance because no insurer in town understands what the policy is. So do we have all-inclusive and we're just denying the claims arbitrarily or randomly? Or is it in fact a bare walls policy? So again, once I get that last page, I do fully intend to have it reviewed and determine whether or not there's liability. I also took the liberty of speaking to an attorney in town, and with respect to the HOA saying, no, we've gone ahead and made the repair, so any interior damage is on you. Well, the attorney in town begs to differ. She says that if in fact the HOA goes ahead and makes that repair, that there is in fact, here in Mexico, a 1-year warranty on that roof. So the fact that it failed shows that again, the HOA is liable. At this juncture, I really don't know what to do short of, I don't want to sue the HOA, but I've taken the time to compile an awful lot of data that can just absolutely wreak havoc against the existing HOA and rally the troops here on the ranch to take different recourse. The Butler proxies and everything else can absolutely strip them regardless of Article 70 of their contract that is written that way. There are numerous ways to take control of this HOA. That's not my intention. My intent is to have the HOA that I pay dues to stand behind the repairs and to provide us with an insurance policy that covers us for losses. I'm not worried about the developer losing a building. I'm worried about me losing my asset. I'm retired, no longer working in the Silicon Valley. I'm, living a meager existence like the rest of it. So, while I'm in the South Caribbean next week, hopefully something happens. Oh, one nice comment. Tony asked a very valid comment. Where is all the money going? Well, Roberto, when I asked you for an expense report on the cost of my repairs, I haven't come back to you yet with a comment, but I absolutely read absolutely everything that is provided to me. And that Excel spreadsheet said that the HOA had spent $3,000 on my roof repair and gave a detailed breakout, which was lovely because every time I see a summary, it says a detailed summary, but trust me, it's at a very high level summary. I can't see where the costs go, but in this particular report, it suggested that $3,000 was spent on my roof repair. Now that was for 6 men at $30 a day for 2 weeks, which came out to $1,800. That by itself was $400 more than I could have got the entire roof repaired with a warranty. You then said that there was a supervisor and a manager at 3.5 and 2.5 hours per day. So 66% of that cost was labor, and I was there. First day, 6 guys showed up and a supervisor dropped them off in a truck that removed all the shingles. For the next 2 weeks, there was 2 guys on my roof. So if the HOA was charged $3,000 for all of that labor that wasn't there, I'll let my fellow owners determine, how the HOA is charging back for services rendered, what have you. But again, I'm at a loss of $4,000. And I just can't believe that when I pay $3,552 in full January 1st every year, that I have no insurance coverage on my property. It hurts. And hopefully you guys will take steps. I mean, you're patting yourselves on the back for lowering the cost of our insurance. But to me, it doesn't seem like we have any. I mean, we can't declare a fire claim because we'll lose our insurance. So we're paying for something that really is no coverage. Thank you.
Okay, please.
On a lighter note, my name is Joe DeClara. We live in Palisbury South. I've been there 15 years or so. When you guys resurface or regrade and water Saltito, okay, is there any way that you guys can back this up so that it happened like really, really early in the morning so that there wouldn't be time this happens, usually between 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock, up to noon, and you guys seem to do that. If they could do it where they did it earlier, there'd be a lot less traffic, and I wouldn't be having to get my car washed so often.
Okay, we will look into it.
Yeah, we just make it easier. Okay, recently, you guys came through and graded and watered all of our area in Palos Verdes South. We've been, like I said, we've been here, coming here for 15 years. This is the best job they've ever done. And not just the watering and grading, but they widen the roads out, and the guys that you've got in your crew right now are excellent. These guys really do a good job. Thanks.
Thank you. Mike, close to your mouth, please.
Okay, I'm a new person here. I just want. My name is Doug Lane, L-A-N-E. I'm in building 74, right down there by the hotel site. And I'm outside all the time, looking at the beautiful, beautiful beach, the beautiful palm trees. They're just loving it to death. So happy I purchased it. However, you know, what concerns me is the renters who burn places down. And so, the other end of my building, there was a fire pit there, less than 20 feet from my condo, a fire pit. All the embers used to blow down when they light fires. All the embers would blow down past my condo. Okay. And all this happens on the weekends. Okay. It doesn't happen during the week because there are very few renters. On the weekends, there are a lot of renters. I've never seen the stats, but I think that's when places are burning down. Okay. Getting to the point. Like I said, I'm outside all the time. Sunrise to sunset. And I see what's going on here. I see security trucks, during the week, security trucks sitting out there parked for hours on end, staring at the beautiful sight that I'm staring at, instead of protecting the beautiful sight I'm staring at. And, you know, like during the week, they're just all hanging out there, sitting in their trucks, watching the ocean. But on the weekend, when they should be on top of this whole situation and taking control, there's not a damn truck in sight all weekend. You know, like, what's going on?
Well, first thing, let me answer to you. Let me say, that's your opinion and I respect it. Now I am giving my opinion. During the week, maybe they are sitting there watching the beaches, whatever, because people come walking in from the beaches. They come from Pete's Camp. We just put a new fence all along the Pete's Camp area because there were people coming from Pete's Camp. During the week, there's plenty of time. During the weekend, they are going to all the places that are having problems with renters. That's why you don't see them stopping. And we have the reports. If you want to see the reports, I can show them to you.
Well, all I can say is that's your story. And like I told you, I sit there 24/7, 7 days a week. I see what's going on. You don't.
Again, same response. Ricardo is taking notes. We will check on that. We will be back to you on that. Okay. Please, Mrs. Hart.
Charlotte Hart, condo, or building 32, condo 4. This morning I was at the swap meet buying my vegetables, and Jean, I don't know Jean's last name, but he always is in front of the post office selling things or telling us stuff. And he stopped and he said, all of you people who are buying your vegetables today, you need to know that the Mexican government no longer will allow you to bring vegetables, meats, and dairy products from California side across. If you are caught with them, they confiscate them and it can take your car. And he said, I know one person who lost all their meats and vegetables that they were bringing across. Have you heard anything about this?
No, exactly about vegetables. I know there are restricted things, like the same thing going from Mexico to the United States. I know, for example, you cannot bring beer. You cannot bring beer from the United States to Mexico, for example. That's a fact. We all do it. I do bring beer, for example. I know that dog food is not allowed. I bring my dog food. Sometimes they see it, they don't say nothing. For years I haven't been requested to take it out and confiscate it from them. But I know it's not permitted. Vegetables I really don't know, but I will check out. I will check out, because governments change. Whatever they did before it was okay, now it's not okay, we have to check it out. Because I know there are provisions of certain things. For example, I know from Mexico to the United States bringing raw meat of pork, no way. Or fruit or vegetables too. Because there are plagues and things like that that they take care of, not letting go into the countries. But let me check. I will contact what is this called? Customs, Mexican customs, and check it out. And dairy product. I'll check it out.
I've heard that from other sources also.
Okay.
You know, we all shop at Costco.
Yeah.
And based on that, they're going to go through the...
Yeah. I will check it out.
Roberto, I've been looking online because I wanted to put it in the newsletter. And these things have been listed forever. You know, and I'll post it in the newsletter what supposedly we're not allowed to do. But the issue is they just haven't been stopping and checking for it. So it's like now they decided we probably better check.
Yeah, I mean, if that's
And that
changed,
happens.
it's serious.
Yes. I don't know why, but I will find out. Yes.
Janice,
Yes, Janice.
Condo 24. I have a question. How many renters are allowed in Unit 3?
There is a maximum of 6 people in renting units.
Okay, well, online there is several advertisements for rental, which is in the building next to us, 6 adults and 4 children. I've been in that rental and there is no way that...
Yeah, it's not permitted. As a matter of fact, let me tell you this. The HOA doesn't rent the places. We provide the residence for the renters. And we only provide 6 per condo. No more than that. In EDR, there are, in Leventon and Mar, for example, there is Campbell House. They have, I think so, 6 rooms. And since the beginning, even before the resort fee and all these things started, they were allowed to have 12 people because they have 6 rooms. It's a big house. I've been there personally. So it was decided at the time that the resort fee came into place and all that, to let that place have 12 people, because all of them are beds since the beginning. It was not added after, but not in the condos.
Then how do we stop it? How do we stop it?
That's a good question, because that's not, the thing is this, if you read the rules and regs, it says that the renters have the same rights as the owner, being a guest, let's say. So the problem is like that. We don't provide the residents, which this means they cannot go into the pool, they cannot go into the activities private for the owners.
We still have 10 people in a condo that's held for 6. And when you're talking about fire danger and the garbage and the trash.
Yes.
And they're going to be in the building next to me. And I'll be on with security every hour, every peep out of them.
Yeah.
I'll be calling.
And we will call the property management company which is renting the place. They have to go and put order to their people. That's what we do. We call them and they have to go. And we already told them, if we call you, you don't go to make them stop, we will prohibit you to work in the ranch.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi,
Yes,
this is Joan Hansberry, and I'm up in Los Fierros South. And I have been listening to this condo stuff going on. I have one question, and that is, if your security people are responding and they're taking the names of the residents who are renting these places, are you keeping track of residents that are renting that are repeated violators so that you can let the management companies know that these are people that aren't invited back to the ranch as renters?
As a matter of fact, the property management companies, they are making their own lists because they don't want to be repeating the same problems. Some people, let me tell you that people always look for the holes in the fence. Some people that knows that their names are on the list, they put some other name. Instead of saying, Roberto is calling, they say, Paul is calling. So we don't know who they are until they arrive, and we don't even remember all the faces. It's very hard. But yeah, there's some people, and when the people from the property companies recognize them, they deny them the rent.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm thinking about is, I mean, it's becoming pretty general information now that the COVID-19 virus is going to be a community illness that may affect the entire world. And I'm just wondering if, you here at the ranch are starting to think about things in relationship to hand washing, instructions on not bringing hands to face, staying home if you're ill, the general precautions that are being recommended by the CDC right now.
Yeah, what we are thinking is to put that information to our next newsletter and into the web. That's our idea. Everybody's getting notices about this. I receive like 7 or 12 different information daily in my telephone. Right now I know that in the whole country, Mexico, it's only 3 cases, and they are already identified and controlled and everything.
Yeah.
But this is spreading all around.
Yeah, I think not being anxious about it, just having practical recommendations to kind of take some of that anxiety that's inappropriate away.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Okay, if there is nobody else, I'll thank you all for your attention. See you next town hall. Thank you very much.